Faking a degree to get the job. Coming up on 8 at 7, Lakeland City officials say a former engineer lied about his education. How they say they discovered the truth. Plus, keeping Bay Area beaches clean. The new effort to stop smoking on the sand. The news starts in 1 minute.
Right now on News Channel 8 at 7.
Good evening. Right now, officials are looking for a bear that caused a scare at a Highlands County school. The animal was spotted twice in Sebring in the last 24 hours. He was caught on camera last night near the jail in downtown Sebring. And then today, the bear was back again and seen near Sebring Middle School. Turns out he's a juvenile, and the sheriff's office tells us the animal does not pose a threat. Eagle 8 HD was up over Sebring this evening looking for the animal. The sheriff's office tells us a 911 dispatcher was in her car last night when the animal came scampering across the road.
One of our dispatchers was sitting in her car outside on a break, and she was, to say the least, surprised when the bear walked in front of her car. And then today it was spotted again this afternoon, and FWC has come down and they're placing a trap.
And once the Fish and Wildlife Commission traps the bear, they will release him back into the wild. An elaborate scheme to defraud and then cover up. A Polk County man who was promoted to head up a power plant is now accused of building his career on lies. Polk County Bureau reporter Stacy DeSilva explains.
John Brett's claimed to be a straight-A student.
He was very good at what he did, at defrauding.
Police say these transcripts from Southern Illinois University are fake. Police say Brett's used them to get a state of Florida engineering license and an engineering job at Lakeland Electric in 2012.
It's not good, but not only did he fool us, he fooled the state of Florida and he fooled employers in Illinois.
The city says this year Brett's wanted a promotion to manage the McIntosh power plant. A new third-party vendor tried to verify his credentials and discovered there was no record of him at SIU. We're told all his work is being reviewed.
It doesn't look as if his professional engineering stamp has put Lakeland Electric or the city at risk at this point in time.
We're told the Bretts resigned from his position in early October and then fled to Illinois. He was arrested there last Friday and faces several fraud charges. In Polk County, Stacy DeSilva, 8 on your side.
8 on your side is investigating an international custody battle with Bay Area ties. Tonight, a federal judge has sided with a Tampa mother fighting to keep her 2 sons in the country longer. This is a temporary win for mom, Christy Bailey. Her twins were born in Panama, where the children's father still lives. Bailey claims she had to flee an abusive relationship. After a long battle, the U.S. courts determined the children had to return to Panama. However, today, the judge said her boys could finish out the school year here.
The judge did it again. She ruled in favor, looking out for the well-being of the kids.
How are you getting them ready to move to a different country with a different language?
They don't speak Spanish, so they only speak English at this point. We are definitely going to have to do some counseling to start preparing them.
The father's attorney tells 8 on your side there has never been any credible evidence of abuse. Panama courts will determine custody. The children must leave Tampa Bay by the end of May. Parents, do you know who's living in your neighborhood? Ahead of Halloween, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office is keeping tabs on convicted sex offenders, and they're reminding families to do the same. 8 on your side's Victoria Price followed along with them today.
Tomorrow, trick-or-treaters across Hillsborough County will go door to door, but today, it's the sheriff's turn.
Hi, Mr. Sandoval. Sheriff Chronister, how are you, sir?
Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you, too. All right.
The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office is making sure sex offenders on release are following the terms of their probation, a reminder they're to have no role in Halloween.
You're fully aware of the rules and your conditions. No Halloween, don't engage in any activities, don't hand out candy, have your light off. Shut the house down for a night.
More than 1,200 registered sex offenders live in unincorporated Hillsborough County. If you include Tampa, that number goes up to around 2,000. The door knocks are to reinforce notices that went out earlier this month, and for the most part, the sheriff says the rules are followed.
I don't think anyone that we make contact with wants to go back to jail.
Now, of course, deputies will be out patrolling on Halloween as well, but in the meantime, they encourage parents to go online, go to the sex offender registry, and look up their address just in case there might be a registered sex offender living in your neighborhood. Reporting in Hillsborough County, Victoria Price, 8 on your side.
A mother has been arrested for playing a role in her 9-year-old daughter's death. Highlands County deputies tell us Elizabeth Markley did not take her little girl to cardiology appointments over the past 2 years and failed to get her the antibiotics she needed to fight off infections. The child even lost consciousness, and investigators say Markley waited 12 hours before taking her to a hospital. Her daughter died in February. Markley was arrested yesterday. Deputies say a man killed his wife, then turned himself in. 55-year-old Todd Belleville of Hernando County called 911 around 11 last night. They say he told the operator he shot and killed his wife at their home and that he'd been drinking beer. We spoke with a neighbor who described Belleville as being mouthy.
She really didn't say much. He did all the talking, Even when we'd come check the mail, he'd always have rude comments to say and stuff.
Belleville is in jail tonight, charged with second-degree murder. Hillsborough County leaders want to forbid employees at one pet grooming facility from owning dogs. It comes just weeks after more than 350 dogs were seized from Trish's all-breed pet grooming in Tampa. Ryan Hughes has the details.
This was the scene at Trish's all-breed grooming in Tampa just a few weeks ago.
I've seen dental disease, skin issues, eye infection.
More than 350 dogs, some in bad shape, were taken from the facility. Today in court, Hillsborough County officials sought to keep manager Alice Holt, seen here, and 4 other employees from owning animals. Court paperwork says the animals weren't properly cared for and some lived in feces and urine. Officials said one dog died just before the seizure last month at the business along East Diana Street.
And you might see as many as 20 or 30 dogs in a cage that probably should only have 1 or 2.
Hillsborough County animal officials explained there's a history of allegations at the center. Dogs were seized there in 1999 when Holt owned the place, and more dogs were taken in 2011. There were also reported problems in 2015.
That we've had dealings with them as much as 20 years ago.
This time, county leaders got complaints from potential buyers explaining the bad conditions. The dogs seized still haven't been adopted.
I'm Ryan Hughes, 8 on your side.
There is new information about the popular bar in downtown St. Pete at the center of a health scare. Several customers complained they came down with red welts on their arms and legs after sitting on a bench at the Pelican Pub. Well, today the bar removed the benches and plans to replace them with high-top tables and chairs.
Yesterday we had pest control services out to spray and treat, and then again after today, later today, once everything is removed, we're planning to treat it again just as a precaution.
The pub owner hopes to reopen tomorrow just in time for Halloween. A state lawmaker from Sarasota is making a new push to ban smoking at the beach. As 8 on your side's John Rogers explains, this bill would leave it to the counties to decide.
Good evening. This controversial topic is not new. It's been discussed here in Sarasota County for years. State Senator Joe Gruters from Sarasota has introduced Senate Bill 670. It would give counties the ability to ban smoking at public beaches. Sarasota County had a ban for years, but it was overturned in 2013 when a court decision found only the state had the authority to make such a ban.
I think that's a good idea because I'm not a smoker, and the smoke does bother me, and I'm so glad now that they don't have it in restaurants.
I don't know that it really hurts people unless it's causing a littering problem. But I don't know what the real big deal is. You're out in open air.
The bill will be taken up in the 2020 legislative session. In Sarasota County, John Rogers, 8 on your side.
Chief Meteorologist Steve Jervy joins us right now. I mean, it looked like a summer day out there on the beach. It continues to feel that way. The trick-or-treating is going to be warm.
Yeah, it's just a really warm year. We set a record high down in Sarasota. We had 88 degrees for a high. Humidity's extra high. It's just one of those years. It's just extremely warm, and probably turned out to be one of the warmest Octobers on record, if not the. All right, take a look outside. We talked about the record high temperature. Got to 91 degrees. Sarasota, Bradenton, 91 degrees. The old record set in 2009, actually a tie, but you get the idea here. There's quite a hot period of time. That's a look at Max Defender 8. Few showers farther down to our south. You can see the southern sections of Sarasota County and Northport area, Inglewood. Few showers continue to move pretty much slowly to the west or very quietly and slowly. Subtropical storm Rebecca. This is our 5 o'clock advisory. 45-mile-per-hour winds. You can see it's well out to sea, but it does count on the list for the 2019 season. Hurricane Center has assigned yet another name to a storm. And the forecast track you can see moving east at 13 miles per hour. Again, this is not significant. Again, the Azores could potentially long-term feel some effects. We'll have more on that local forecast and have the Halloween forecast too coming up.
Still ahead.
The Cross Bay Ferry is back, but when is it going to be back to stay for good? I'll tell you about that coming up.
There's sales tax for the state and for the county, but that might not be all. I'm Evan Donovan. I'll tell you why when you shop in this Pasco County shopping center, there's an extra tax on top.